Hi, YouTube. I'm just waiting for my TikTok people to turn up. That's where my main audience is. Hello, Lydia. That was my grandmother's name, Lydia. Hi, Taylor, Gabriel. Where are you from? I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. Before we get going, I always like to hear where people are from. I get clients from all over the world. So Ontario, hi, fellow Canadian. Most of my clients and followers are American. It's my biggest audience. But I get clients like I'm always amazed where people come from. That's what I love about the internet. It's made everyone like we realize how similar we are. I think back in the day before the internet, we all thought we were more different. Now I think we're all pretty much the same, right? Okay. So where are you from? I'm also filming these on YouTube these days, so that's where I'm saving these. But my main audience is on TikTok. That's why if you are on YouTube, you'll see me. You'll only see that side of my face usually. I try and look at answers on YouTube. Tell you the only issue I have with YouTube when people ask questions is you can type as much as you want. So it takes me so long to read the question. So where are you from? What part of the world? I'm in Vancouver, Canada. Good, Sarah. Excellent. See, I'm not doing questions yet. I'm just asking people where they're from. What time is it? 1:30 here in Vancouver. Sometimes I'm on at this time, not usually. I'm usually out and about on a Sunday afternoon. I've already been out all morning, so. Where are you from? What country? Ontario? Another Ontario? Or is that the same one? 2 Ontarios so far. So, getting more people in. Oh, geez, my neck's sore this morning. I did pull-ups this morning. Well, my version of them. So yeah, and I really have been pushing myself at the gym, so I'm more sore all the time now. Bay Area, California. That's San Francisco, isn't it? LA, hi LA. Ontario again. That's 3 Ontarios. Wow. That was funny because I had a bunch of people from Romania, I think it was. And then I said, wow, there was like 10 people from Romania. And she goes, yeah, I just told my friends. So they had shared it. So, and it was funny. Southern Oregon. What's Southern Oregon? What's down there? I don't know where Portland is there. I've been to Portland. I haven't been anywhere else in Oregon. Scotland. Hi, Scotland. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got about 100. Malaysia. Hi, Malaysia. You've been here before, haven't you? Aina? Kansas City, Missouri. Bulgaria. Hi, Bulgaria. UK. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions. If you look at the link above, Utah. Hi, Utah. If you look at the link above, everything I've got to offer is on there. My free behavior board, you can buy one of my courses or you can hire me for one-on-one Zoom coaching. 4 hours south of Portland. I'm just outside of Ashland. Oh, I never heard of Ashland. I thought Portland was south. Obviously, I don't know. I've been there. I just can't remember. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions. Kosovo. Eli, you've been here before, haven't you? 4 a.m. Just finished feeding my baby. Excellent. Excellent. Philly, Philadelphia. Hello. So parenting questions. I was so tired yesterday. I did a live yesterday. But yeah, I was so tired. My voice was going and I just had one of those days. Do you ever just have those days where your body just says, you know what? I'm done. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Plymouth, United Kingdom. Plymouth. I have no idea where that is. I'm going to look that up. Curious. Plymouth, United Kingdom. Curious. I don't know the UK at all. I'm going to get over there one day. I'll figure it out. And whenever I travel, I don't go to one tourist attraction ever. I just walk the streets. Like I like to go to the trendy areas and then just walk around talking to locals. Mariah, missed you. I'm here every day. Where were you? You know, it's hard. I don't have a scheduled time come on. So it's just, you know, if you happen to be available. Sweden. Okay. So what? How to make a toddler pick his toy. I don't know what you mean. Oh, I heard that's dangerous with walking around trendy areas. It's just the way I travel. I hate tourist attractions. Like, if I don't visit them in my own city, why would I visit? Like, it's just, I don't like touristy stuff. I like to get to know locals. And you'd be amazed. Nottinghamshire. Okay. Nottingham. Is that like Nottingham, but then Nottinghamshire? Are they nearby, or how does that work over there? I don't understand. Plymouth. Okay, let me see here. Oh, oh, that's not where I would have thought at all. Plymouth. Oh, that's way down southwest. Guernsey. That's not even on the island. I thought Guernsey, Jersey. Geez, I don't know anything, do I? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, 4-year-old twins fighting over stuff, how to punish or guide through regarding toys, etc. Yeah, just there's a million different ways of dealing with this. My general TikTok answer is this. If two kids are fighting over the same thing, you say, I don't like you guys fighting, just take one of them. You usually start with the older one, but with twins, it doesn't matter. So say, okay, I don't like your fighting. You come with me for 10 minutes. And you just go in another room and just do the dishes or something. You're just chatting. Do not discuss the fighting. There's no point, okay? The pool story explains why you don't. But anyway, I'll probably end up telling the pool story here. I tell it pretty much every live. But anyway, so then 10 minutes later, you say, okay, go back, have fun. Do not say don't fight. Don't remind them of what not to do. Let them figure themselves out, okay? When they go back together, if they start fighting again, watch them like a hawk, by the way. As soon as they start fighting again, you say, okay, now you come with me. Back and forth, back and forth. Usually after a weekend, they usually start to improve. But also make it, they're only 4 years old, make sure they have enough toys between the two of them. You know, obviously you've got twins, you understand this. You don't just buy one wonderful toy between the two of them. So make sure, unless it's something they can play with together. But yeah, just keep separating them back and forth and back and forth, and you never discuss it. Just keep doing it, and you're talking about anything else but that. The more you focus on and discuss, even though you're disciplining because you're removing them, that's not timeout because they're with you. Timeout is when you put a kid on the corner all by themselves. I hate timeout. I think it's mean. But anyway, yeah, you're just taking them in the kitchen with you or whatever and chatting with them about everything else. And but yeah, they usually learn. What inspired your account name? I used to mentor troubled teens, and they said you're always busting brats. And then they also said, you got to teach this, Lisa. So between the two, they told me to teach this, and they also came up with the name. And plus, I thought it was a funny name. And anyone who doesn't see the humor in parenting and all this stuff, I don't want to work with you anyway. I'll be honest with you. I'm all about humor, and life's messy. I'm not politically correct at all. I've never called a kid a brat in my life, but it's just funny. I just thought it was funny. What are your credentials? I started volunteering in daycare centers when I was 11 years old, and I just had a knack for getting respect with kids. And I was also the fun one, so it just was kind of born to do this, I think. And then I just volunteered with hundreds and hundreds of kids over the years, right up to the teenagers. They were my favorite age. When I was 20, I often tell this story, but it's more about me than helping you out. But anyway, it's kind of funny. I thought I was going to be a child psychologist. When I was 20, I took a prerequisite course for university, and it was going to be a child psychologist. After 1 week, they kicked me out because I asked too many questions. What they were teaching, this is 1980, so this is a long time ago. I was 20. And what they were teaching was just garbage. It was condescending, patronizing garbage. I hated it. And because I teach leadership, I don't like that authority style stuff. I'm sure they've changed it now and improved it as they've learned more about kids. But yeah, I just thought it was ridiculous. So anyway, not only was I asking too many questions, then the other students started coming to me and asking me questions because I had so much experience with kids and I just got it. Like I just understood them. So that's why thank God I never became a child psychologist. I get child psychologists as clients, because there's nothing like parenting. Like I couldn't be a child psychologist. I'm not qualified. I don't want to do it. I would be under that umbrella, which it would mean I couldn't say whatever I want. And it's important to me to teach through experience with kids. Anyway, child psychologists usually hire me with teenagers because they say until you've lived with them, you don't get it. So yeah, those are my qualifications. I have none, but it's all experience-based. Kids taught me all this. I've never read a book on kids or parenting or anything. Yeah, it's all kids taught me all this. Can you say more about why you think timeout is bad? I think it's humiliating. Let's say you made a mistake at your job and your boss said, can you go sit in the corner all by yourself, nose to wall for 10 minutes? Think about it. Kids feel the exact same way. It's humiliating, it's degrading, it's mean. It's bullying. I hate it. Same thing. They feel exactly the same way. Okay, I just want to say thank you for your videos. They've helped this mom of 5 very much. Excellent. The most biggest family I think I've ever worked with, I think they had 8 kids. I'm pretty sure. But that was more about, I had to work with them for quite some time because it was setting up systems, trying to discipline, trying to set yourself up as a leader, also figuring out systems with all different age groups. It was fun. I loved it. I love a challenge. How to redirect. I don't really redirect much. I like to deal with stuff based on, I only redirect with about 16 months and under because they're still babies. I want kids older than that to start to learn. To sit in their, I call it sitting in their mess. They're having a tantrum, I let them sit in it, and that's how they learn. Waldorf ideas, I have no idea. I've never read I don't know what anyone else out there is teaching. I know the only reason I know what's trendy and what's being taught out there is my clients tell me when they hire me. They say, well, that didn't work. And then I know exactly what they're talking about. And it's all this pleaser parent style. I don't know who's teaching it. I've never looked at another expert or anything. I have no idea. I stay in my lane. So, and also I've been asked to do some panel work where you go on, you debate different parenting methods. I wouldn't do that because I'm not going to critique other people. You know, if I resonate with you, then follow me for 3 weeks. You know, I got to give it some time. If I don't, then move on. You know, it has to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, you're not going to do it effectively. So, but yeah, I don't know what anyone else, I don't know any other ideas. I'm self-taught. Kids taught me this. Well, I'm not self-taught. They taught me. I was watching kids and figuring it out, and mentoring them and working with them in hospitals, schools, detention centers, psych wards. And then I've been teaching, I've been parent coaching now for 17 years. The thing with coaching is different. I know how to go in and get respect with kids like that. Teaching other people how to do it is another thing. It's a whole other skill level. You can be really good at something, but teaching it to others is a whole other skill level. The first year I was a parenting coach, I was passing on all my knowledge or trying to pass on my knowledge. It's not how you do it. You take people through a process step by step. And that's how a year after I started my business, they were getting results, but it was nowhere near what I thought it should be. Then I realized I'm not pacing them out. I've got to pace them out to make it work for them. So that's why I have a whole course on this. If you want to learn, Get Respect in 5 weeks, it's paced out to get the best results. I invented the behavior board and put the parents on it, changed everything. Because you want to be accountable too. I was completely accountable with kids. If I messed up, I go, oh shoot, what do you want? How can I make it up to you? And they'd go, oh, let me see. So yeah, you got to be accountable. That's respect. You respect children and they'll respect you back. Media blackout rule. Until what age do you use the media blackout rule? A lot of this stuff stops at 13. Teenagers are different. You can do it, but okay, here's the thing. Yeah, teenagers are different. How do I explain this? Not that it's so complicated, but I want to just succinctly explain it as best I can here. So you discipline young children to get respect. You get respect with teenagers before you can discipline them. So if you're at each other, media blackout's gonna backfire. You have to have mutual respect going. And I use it cautiously and not the way you would think. It's almost always coaching. With teenagers, it's almost always coaching. So one-on-one, because I got to assess the situation. Where are you? I have to figure out where you are. What's your relationship like with your kid? You know, are you like this or are you close? What's your communication skills with your teenager? So I have to assess that, and then I have to move forward very carefully. Teenagers are challenging. They're my favorite age, by the way. I built my business on working with troubled teens. How to redirect. I already said I don't really do that. Ideas on emotional regulation support for 3 to 5 years. Oh, my regulars know exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, you're talking about therapy here. They don't need it. They learn all this. If you're a leader, they learn it all organically. They calm down. They have high self-esteem. They have a voice. They can tell you anything. You don't need many therapy sessions. I can't stand them. I know how trendy they are, but they're just for you. They're completely 100% for you, not your children. these mini therapy sessions, regulating all their emotions, all their big feelings. Let's discuss your big feeling. That's for you. That's not for your children at all. At all. It's for you. That I know it's trendy right now, but that's all the stuff I have to erase in coaching. It's just rubbish. Okay. They do not need therapy unless they've been abused or something. And even then, it's very specific. I've dealt with a lot of abused kids. It's a very specific way we move forward. That's not for TikTok. Okay, how can I stop my 2-year-old twins from constantly fighting? They bite, hit, scratch each other. The only thing you can do is really separate them, make sure they've each got something that they're into. So you don't expect them to get along with stuff because 2-year-olds don't usually know how to share. I've worked with triplets, and so yeah, I've worked with multiples before. They don't usually know how to share. You've got to make sure they've each got their individual things. They will learn eventually, but it's going to be a bit of a rough road. You know what I say about toddlers? They're crazy, or they're just not sane yet. Don't try and make sense out of them. Why is emotional regulation trendy? Teaching how to, okay. Do you really want my whole, it's the pleaser parent style, because people rebelled against the old-fashioned authority style. Then they swung the pendulum in the other direction. That's why. They swung the kids didn't really have a voice, but they were more emotionally regulated, that's for sure. The authority style parent is way more effective than this trendy one that's out right now. Way more effective. You're raising more independent. They resent you in the teen years, but then they appreciate you once they get past that. They get it. They wipe their, if you're a pleaser parent right through the teen years, they'll wipe their feet on you and they'll never really respect or appreciate what you did for them. It's just the way it is. If you're the pleaser parent, you tend to raise self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues. You're more likely to with that style. It's all based on feeding the mom. The mom. It's all about the mom. Discipline went out the window. Moms started feeling guilty and like crap because their kids were walking all over them. Then this style came in and it made them feel better. But it has nothing to do with the kids. It's all for the mom. And that's what all that trend, I saw it coming. I thought, oh crap, I just saw it happening because it's feeding the mom. It's not your fault. You just say, use your words and all this stuff. And it's like this, it's just, I can't talk about it anymore. It just frustrates the bejeebs out of me because I have to repair all that damage. I know where it heads. I know where you're going with that stuff. And never mind. Lisa, shut up. Okay. Okay. Okay, your video that addresses toddlers hitting is with an object, but what if they just hit without? Yeah, you just restrain them. You just say no and you remove their hand from whatever. You remove them, remove the other person, remove them from the fun. It's about removing. You remove an item, remove them, It's about removing. You take something away from them, okay? The fun, it's still consistent corrective actions because toddlers do not learn through words, and neither do older kids. They don't learn through words. They learn through consequences. It's all about consequences. Same with us. Same with us. By the way, can you please not speed anymore? If that's all cops ever did, wouldn't you keep speeding? No, it's consequences. You're going to pay a speeding ticket. Think about it. They're no different from us. It's about teaching them lessons, not these therapy. Can you imagine a cop pulling you over? Now let's discuss your big feelings. Why did you? Oh, for God's sake. It's just such a bunch of garbage. God, it drives me freaking nuts. Because every single day I have to erase all that stuff. I have to repair all that because it backfires down the road. It is not where you want to be. Okay, oops, I work with abused children. So have I. For decades, so did I. I really want to know why you. Oh. Well, you're along the lines of what I want to answer. I love all that stuff. Yeah, I've worked with a lot of abused children. Everything you can think of. I used to specialize in crisis work. And then I was doing the 6 o'clock news one night, and they introduced me as the crisis queen. And I quit doing media because I don't want to be the crisis queen. I want to be the prevention queen. I still do the crisis work, but I don't want to lead with that anymore because I want to prevent it, right? But I've been doing this for so many years. It was a good way to start my business because that's my power, my strength. If you can do crisis work, if you're doing this, do it because not enough people can do it effectively. It's tricky. Okay. So what was the rest of your question? Abused kids. What was the rest of that question? I'm going back now to look for it. If I don't find it, it's because I get dizzy. Look when I go backwards. Starting to get dizzy. Ah, shoot. I get vertigo. I'm old, right? You just get dizzy. You get really easily. That's why so many old people fall over, because they get dizzy. We don't have the same balance that you young people do. Sharing on Facebook, I really don't. The only places I put this stuff is TikTok and Instagram. And even then, Instagram is just one video a day. I usually try and do 3 videos a day on here. I don't do my own Instagram. Yeah. Same parenting style, even for kids with ADHD. That's where I started all this. I never, ever worked with easy kids. Not one person, because I learned I didn't learn this with my own kids. I got respect when they were tiny and kind of sailed right through the teen years. But I learned how to get respect from challenging kids. They usually were alphabet kids. WXYZ, ADD, ODD, whatever you want to call it. Those are the kids I used all. It's just respect. Your leader. You lead, they will follow. I could tell you story after story after story of how well this works. The more difficult the child that I've been handed, the quicker they are for me to get respect. Do you know why? They give in the quickest by far. They're like this instantly. Once they realize they're up against a calm leader that makes them feel good about themselves, once they realize that, why do they give up quicker than any other kid? The more difficult the kid, the more challenging, the more oppositional the kid, the easier it is for me to get them to go, whew, okay, I'm going to follow you. Why is that? Can someone come up with the reason for that? Every time I get one, they'd go, oh, good luck with this one. I'm like, yeah, okay. Why is that? Why do you think that is? If you can come up with it, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, I'll go on to something else now. ODD is not a diagnosis. It's just an acronym, oppositional defiant disorder. It's just something made up from doctors to make moms feel not so guilty. That's what doctors have told me. Pediatricians have told me that. It's not a medical diagnosis. Just means you got to work on your leadership skills. It's a tell. It means you're not a leader and they're oppositional because you're not a leader. Okay, so why do the most difficult kids, there we go. Because you give them rest and structure, consistency they need. Because I'm feeling their need that no one else has. I'm giving them what they need, leadership. They desperately need, crave, and want leadership. That's why the more difficult the kids are, the quicker I am to get their respect. And they want to please me. Because they're like, oh, finally, I've got some guidance here. I've got someone that makes me feel good about myself. Instead of talking about all the bad stuff I do, they know how to focus on the good kid and deal with the bad behavior. I deal with bad behavior, but I focus on the good kid. Oh, the pool story is the best story for that one. Anyway, if you're interested, let me know. I tell the pool story every day on here. Because, yeah, they feel good about themselves when they're with a leader. Think about it like a really good sports coach that all the kids love and that get the best out of the kids and they have fun. A sports coach is the relationship that is most similar to my parenting style. You're like a coach, you're like a mentor, you're bringing out the best in them. But if they mess up and do something naughty, okay, sit on the bench for an inning. You don't go on about it, right? You deal with the bad behavior, then you're right, okay, come on in, have a great game now. You see, it's like that. You're making them feel good about themselves. When you're the source of their high self-esteem, whoa, the power is unbelievable. That's why you got to be very careful. When I was mentoring troubled teens, once I figured out, wow, I can get respect really easily. Once I figured that out, I thought, ooh, a lot of responsibility comes with that. Because anything I said, they were listening. Once they respect you, you got to watch yourself because they are extremely pliable to anything you say and anything you do. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. Okay. You need to put ages down here. Like, are they 16, 6, or 6 months? I don't know. You have to put an age. I don't know what you're talking about here. What about over independence and it's hindering their learning? That's a very broad statement. I don't know what you mean. Are they 3, 13, over independence? What, are they paying their own rent and they live on their own? I don't know what you mean by that. No. Would taking my kids' toys away help to discipline rude and disrespectful behavior? No. No. You're jumping the gun with that. You're jumping too far with that. Check out my behavior board. It's free on my on my link above there, and check it out. You'll see what you do. It's not that easy. It's not that. Yeah, it's not like, hey, I'm taking that away. You got to discuss it with them, set up. But is it a toddler? Under 3, the behavior board starts at 3. And I have a whole course, How to Get Respect in 5 Weeks, if you're interested. That's up there too. I don't know what you mean exactly. How do you not focus on what they did wrong? I just get so mad. That's on you. That, there's 2 different ways of parenting. The style right now is filling the parents' needs. These mini therapy sessions, discussing big feelings, that's to make you feel better. Then there's another way of parenting. You meet their needs and manage their wants. That's about them. So focus on them, not yourself. Once you remove your own emotions from this, because you know down the road it's going to pay off, it's short-term pain, but long-term gain. It's going to pay off. Remove what you need and want, your anger and all that. Remove that. Go scream into a pillow if you have to. Just focus on meeting their needs and managing their wants. And yeah, but it's hard work. Getting respect is really hard work. It's worth it, but it's hard work. It's not supposed to be easy. How do you know? Plus, I want to address this. How do you not focus on what they did wrong? You can do that, but good luck with that. Their self-esteem is going down, 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 and they're going to hate you for that. They're going to come after you. They're going to get worse and worse and worse. The more you focus on what they do wrong, the worse they're going to get. Wherever you put your energy with kids is where they go. That's why I address bad behavior fast. And then I'm right back to, oh, do you want to go read a book? Oh, do you want to go to the park? You see, if you focus on the bad, that's what you're going to get. The more time you spend on what you don't want, the more you're going to get what you don't want. 100%. If anyone's interested in the pool story, let me know. It's just the best example of basically everything I teach. It's the best example. Not with teenagers, it's different. Anyway, okay. But you've probably all heard it before. If you're regulars, you've heard it a million times. Okay. Ouch, jeez. So I've been working out too much this week and my arms are killing me. And I have to have my phone up here. Jeez. Ouch. I feel like it needs to click. There we go. Okay. Please tell the pool story. Okay. Oh, God, this is so funny. I'll tell the pool story in a second. You said, I like the concept of being a couch. I call it being furniture. When you just sit on the couch looking through a magazine, waiting till my 15-year-old son invited me to play video games with him. Because I couldn't relate to him anymore. He started becoming a man. He was into video games and he wasn't my girlfriend anymore, because he was becoming a man. So I just sat down reading magazines. Next thing you know, over a period of time, we're playing video games together. He's making music playlists for me. Just started connecting with him again. You always connect in their world. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's how I connected with my own son. He was 14 and every single morning, morning, sweetie. And he'd go, morning, mom, all cheery and like friendly. And we'd start laughing. We always started laughing, just all humor. And then one morning I said, he was 15. And I said, morning, sweetie. And he turned around and went, morning, mom. He just turned into a man overnight. It was unbelievable. I'll never forget that. It was unbelievable. Hormones are kicking in, right? So it all changed everything. But anyway, and I thought, how do I connect with this? That's how I did it. I became furniture. The pool story, it sort of synopsizes everything I believe in. And you'll get it once you hear it. And I'm sorry if you've heard it a million times, but it's just such a good example for anyone new. Anyway, we just put a pool in the backyard and it was my son's 8th birthday. So my husband at the time took our 3-year-old, they went somewhere else. And it was just me with 6 8-year-old boys in the pool. Now I'm a safety freak. So when moms would drop their kids off, they'd say, oh, can I stay and chat? And I said, if you stay, I'm not talking to you because all I'm doing is counting heads. All the moms ended up leaving. So it was just me and 6 little boys. Anyway, we had this big blow up toy called Whaley, and it was giant. I couldn't see kids behind it. So it was a safety issue. So I could have lost 3 kids behind Whaley. So I said, by the way, Whaley is over there. So he's not allowed in the pool because I can't see behind him, blah, blah, blah. So don't touch Whaley. I didn't want to let the air out. They're old enough to understand this. I didn't want to let the air out because we didn't have a pump. So anyway, I left him blown up, but it was over quite a ways off to the side. Sure enough, one of the kids went and got Whaley in the pool. And I said to him, he has Whaley in the pool. And I said, I want Whaley out of the pool now. I'll explain everything after I'm done. I'm telling you, not him. I said, Whaley out of the pool now. He said to me, no. My son instantly went like this. Like he knows mom knows how to take care of business. And I love it, right? This is my thing. I had that kid out of the pool so fast, he didn't even know what happened. He's sitting beside me. My son got Whaley out of the pool. He's sitting beside me on the steps. And I said, you're going to sit with me for 10 minutes now. So in that 10 minutes, I'm chatting to him. Oh, I saw you play soccer. You got a goal the other day. Remember that test that we did? I helped him at school too. I was a support there. So I said, oh, and I helped you with that test the other day. You did just great, blah, blah, blah. I'm going on and on. What video games do you like to play? He's having a blast. Talking about him. I'm praising him, making him feel good. So 10 minutes is up. I said, okay, 10 minutes is up. You can go back in the pool and have fun. He wouldn't leave. He kept talking and I couldn't get rid of him. Talking. I'm like, geez, how do I get rid of this kid? Anyway, finally I said, oh, they're all going to play basketball. You want to play three, you need three on each team. So he finally goes back in the pool. The rest of the afternoon, he was like Velcro to me. I couldn't get rid of this kid. He kept, well, can I help you with the cake? Can I help you with that? I said, no, that's okay. Now, what I had done was when he first pulled Whaley in the pool, why did I not say, can you please take Whaley out of the pool? Because remember I said, it sounds like I'm begging. He just broke a safety rule. So Whaley out of the pool now. I used my stern voice, which I rarely do, but it was a safety issue. Anyway, and then he said no to me. So that's why I instantly pulled him out of the pool. I took action, fully clothed. I took action right away. I don't discuss it. I don't, once they've talked to me like that, there's no discussion, none. So I take action. So I got him out of the pool and he's sitting beside me and I was very clear. Now you're going to sit with me for 10 minutes. I did not say because you took Whaley in the pool. He already knows, he's not stupid. So anyway, he's sitting beside me for 10 minutes. Now I would not discuss what he did bad because I always say address bad behavior very quick, get it over with like pulling a Band-Aid, then focus on the good kid. All I did was focus on the good kid. I'm pulling out the good kid. Why would I do that? His self-esteem, his happiness, our bond, his respect for me, right? I'm building a relationship. I'm building my leadership skills. I'm building trust because he's disciplined. He's sitting there with me for 10 minutes. Why did he not want to leave? He's having a great time. He's feeling great about himself. Then when I said, okay, back in the pool, I would never say, don't touch Whaley again. Because that is like rubbing, because you're normally rotten. So make sure you don't, it's mean. Why would I say that? I said, great, go have fun. I treat him like he's wonderful. I address bad behavior, but I treat the child like they're wonderful. Does that make sense? He felt great about himself. Couldn't get rid of him all afternoon. Anyway, his mother turns up to pick him up. He was rotten to her. He was a handful, that kid. But anyway, does that make sense though? How I took charge? Completely. There was no negotiating with him. None. But then I sat and bonded with him and then he was wonderful all afternoon. That's my favorite story for teaching pretty much everything I teach. You want to build up their self-esteem. You want them to like themselves. And if you're the source of that, they're all over you. They want to please you, right? Because you made them feel good about themselves. But I still address the bad behavior. Does that all make sense? Can I get some likes in there if that makes sense? That's the whole idea behind how I parent. I address bad behavior quick, get it over with, and then treat them like they're wonderful. That's why I hate reward charts. You know the message that you're sending? You're normally rotten, but if you should happen to be good, you'll get a gold star. See the message? It's horrible. If you have a behavior board up, and you're on it too, by the way, it says you're normally wonderful, but if you should happen to do something wrong, we got a behavior board to manage all of us. Now, do not compare that to teaching. Teachers use reward charts. 40% of my clients have child development degrees. They're teachers, principals, child psychologists. Parenting is nothing like teaching. I couldn't be a teacher. Teaching, it works in an institution. Reward charts work in institutions. At home, no, not at all. In schools and institutions, they're dealing with mass kids, and it's an incentive program. It's based around work, not who they are as individuals. It's just different. Parenting's different from everything else. What if you homeschool? I still wouldn't use a reward chart because you're home. It's still home. A 3-year-old telling us to shut up, that's just a tell, means it doesn't respect you. Work on your leadership skills. Remember, we're never fixing kids. They're just a reflection of your parenting. So that says, oh, they don't respect you. Work on your leadership skills. Everything I teach, if you want, my course is from 3 to 12 years old. If you're interested, it's up there in my bio. And it teaches you how to get respect in 5 weeks. You can elongate that by a couple of weeks here and there, but do not rush through that course at all. The first 3 weeks are behavior boards. The next 2 are in the moment discipline. And the whole way through, it's about connecting with your kids, bonding with them. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. No, I still don't do reward charts. I don't do them with anything. Nothing. I can't think of one reason why I would ever use a reward chart. Not in a million years. I know I can't think of one reason why I would use a reward chart. The only kind of rewards I ever did with my kids, it was always after the fact. Like, let's say we'd been somewhere and all the other kids at this party were rotten, just difficult, throwing food, doing everything. After a party, I would get in the car with my kids and I'd say, you kids are so great. Let's go get ice cream. That's how I would use it. But you see what I mean? I didn't say, if you're good, you're going to get ice cream. That makes you sound like you're afraid. Yeah. Oh, reward chart for medical reasons. I don't know what you're talking about, but if children have to take medication, especially if it's insulin or something that hurts, then yeah, potentially I would use reward charts for medical reasons, but even then very cautiously. So every time they get and I use rewards when I'm potty training. I have a potty training course if you're interested. That's a reward, but that's a training. That's just a little bit different. I love the swimming pool story. Yeah, that's my favorite story. I've got 3 stories I tell all the time, and I have about 20 of them I tell in coaching, but I only tell them in coaching. I have a reason for that, but I won't tell you in case my kids are watching. My kids are 33 and 28 now. Toddlers who run off, so I call them runners. I put them on a leash, a restraint, or a harness, and just make them earn their freedom. So they'll learn. You have the harness on them, but leave them free. Soon as they run, you say, now you stay with me. Soon as they run, clip them in and leave them clipped in for the rest of that outing. Is it going to be difficult? Yeah. But you've got to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. Everyone wants the rainbow. I say, yeah, you're ready to go through the storm first? Because that's how it happens. I didn't though, because I gradually got respect when they were little. So you don't have to do that. But if they've been in charge and now you want to flip it, you're going to have to go through a storm. They're going to fight back. And a lot of time people say, well, they were just wonderful until they turned 3. And I'm like, yeah, that's when they find their power. So they never did respect you. They just didn't find their power yet. That's all. They still fight with the leash backpacks. They still fight. Never thought I'd have leash kids. Yeah, isn't that well? To me, that's just a safety issue. It wouldn't bother me for 1 second to put a kid on a leash. Like, it's like, do you restrain them in the car? What's the difference? Yeah. Do you have any grandchildren? My first one is due this year. First grandchild. I'm excited, but not like other people. I know all my friends who are grandparents. Oh, it's just wonderful. It's better than parenting. I know for a fact it won't be, because I'll love them and all that. But I'm one of those moms. The most fun I ever had in my whole life was parenting. Here, this will be me in the delivery room or after they had the baby or whatever. This will be me the first time I'm holding my grandchild. Oh, like this. And my son's going to say, can I have my child back? This will be me. No. Like, you're just renting them. They're not even yours. You have to hand them back. How is that fun? I'll love them, but they're somebody else's kids. I don't want to hand them back. I love parenting. It's the most fun I ever had in my whole life. Just laughed all the time. It was fun. I miss it. But yeah, it's someone else's kid now. You'll find out. I have a friend who had 10 grandchildren. She goes, and she was like me. She loved mothering as much as I did. She goes, it's not as good. So yeah. It's because I love it. I loved it so much. It was 24/7. I had no family around, no babies, nothing. It was just me and the kids. And their dad worked a lot. He traveled and that. So it was basically just me and the kids. I loved it that much that people used to say, don't you ever want a break? And I'm like, from what? From happiness, from joy, from fun? Like, I loved it that much. And this other lady that I know, she said, yeah, she adored her grandchildren. She goes, that's not as good as parenting. So yeah, parenting was, everyone used to say, Lisa, it's not going to be as fun as you think it will. And I was ready for that. I thought it would be okay. Oh, I understand that, because I used to love looking after other people's kids. And I thought, yeah, I know it won't be. It was better. It was because I got respect when they were tiny and just sailed right through. It was so much fun. And plus, you can raise them the way you want, like humor. We all got each other. We just look at each other and giggle. Like we all just got each other. It was fun. Oh, God, I miss it. Yeah, grandparenting. I'll love it. But they're someone else's kid. So, by the way, it's none of my business how they raise their own children. I'm not the Badinsky type at all. I never tell people how to live. You're here soliciting my expert advice, but yeah, I never tell anyone how to parent or anything. None of my business. It'll be fun watching them. Doesn't mean I won't love my grandchildren though. uh, eh, I don't buy this. Hello, Mojo. Any ideas for 9-year-old who wants to sleep in sister's room because she's scared to sleep alone? I think I don't buy it. I think she's just trying to come up with an excuse I just don't buy it. I could be wrong. If you want me to figure it out, you can hire me. I could figure it out pretty quick. My 12-year-old's attitude is changing and not for the good. Any advice? I'm challenging you with that. So you just haven't adjusted your parenting. It's not the kid, it's you. You have not adjusted your parenting to the hormones, the growing up, what they're going through. It changes when they're teenagers. So yeah, don't blame the kid. Like a lot of people say, oh my God, the teenagers, they're my favorite age, by the way, teenagers. Actually, newborns and teenagers are my two favorite ages. Because newborns are blank slates. Like I just find them fascinating. I'm like, what's in there? What's in there? And teenagers, they're telling you what's in there. That's when it really comes out. So that's my favorite age. Is that what you say to the child? I think you're looking for an excuse and not falling for it. No, I don't say that. I don't know what I'd say. I'd have to assess the situation first. And also I have to figure out your parenting style. I would say that, but on my personality, my kids, they knew me. I would just say, not falling for it. And they go, okay, never mind. Like it was that easy. Right? And they wouldn't even have tried. Like they just knew mom was onto them. If my kids ever tried to pull the wool over my eyes, I would just look at them like that and they go, oh, never mind. So I don't know your relationship with your child. So I use a lot of sarcasm with my kids. My mom would have too. My mom, if I tried to pull the wool over my eyes, she would have gone like this. Are you kidding me with this? And I would have go, oop, never mind. So it's a relationship thing. That's why I don't teach what I did so much as I teach what you need to hear. And on TikTok, I keep it all pretty general. But yeah, I use a lot of sarcasm. That's how I was raised. My mother was a very good leader, and she never yelled or anything. She was just lovely. And but yeah, I never yelled or anything. I used sarcasm. But my kids got it. They were used to it. And when I was looking after other people's kids, I could not be like that all the time. Some of them were raised in very serious homes, and they would have taken sarcasm as mean. So I had to adjust my style, but they get used to you pretty quick. So. Oh, stepson. I don't talk about step parenting unless I've got the biological parent there too. A lot of my clients are it's blended families. Then I'll talk to them, but I need a biological parent there. If I was to give step parenting advice and the biological parent didn't like it, see where I'm coming from? I just teach parenting. Do I make him adjust to my parenting or adjust to what he's used to? I can't answer that. I don't know. If it's effective, then you adjust. But if it's not effective, then you might want to do some work. So I can't answer that. I don't know. Like you're asking me to critique what might not be working, I don't know if it's working. Yeah, don't start talking about hitting kids and that. I get some political stuff going on here, and I just don't get into that. There's no point discussing that. So I used to have this person who turned up to my lives, and they were like they're trolls. You get trolls, right? People usually, I can't be bullied, so trolls usually move on. But anyway, I got this troll on here, and this person was turning up. I would say, I think there's some mental illness going on there, I would think, or I don't know what's going on. But anyway, And boy, people were getting mad. Can you please block this person? Can you? And I never did. I thought they're just going to get sick of this and move on, because I want them to learn a lesson that I don't give attention to that stuff. So, but yeah, people were getting frustrated. They were, trying to get me to block that person, but it was just quite funny. The things they were saying, oh, they hated me, but they were just trying to get a rise, right? It's funny. I love all that stuff. Okay, not effective, but I don't, the parenting style with the bio dad. Okay, step in. Okay, if you want my help, you have to hire me, and I want you and the bio dad there. And yeah, that's how it goes. And we figure stuff out, because you're trying to blend. That's all coaching. I have to figure you guys out. And I'm going to assess your relationship too, to help you, because sometimes I push harder, depending on the strength of the bond and where you're at. But if you're at each other a lot and fighting over the kid, I got to be careful of that. So yeah, it's coaching. I do that a lot in coaching. Okay. Quit addressing the trolls. treat the trolls like little kids. Yeah, they are. They just can't help it. They need attention. Okay. How do you get more patience? It's like anything. It's like, how do you lose weight? You got to go through the pain to get there. Patience takes, once you're a really good leader and it starts working, the patience just happens. Oftentimes when I'm coaching people, about the first session's usually pretty rough. The second session can be rough, or it can get easier. I never know. The third session, they start to get it. And patience gets easier. Not all the time. So it depends on what they're dealing with. Sometimes they're dealing with crisis stuff or really serious stuff, or they have their own backgrounds that's going on. I have to take all that into account. So oftentimes I'll see a client's not getting any results. They've hired me maybe for 10 sessions and they're not getting any results. And then they haven't leveled with me. They're dealing with their own emotional trauma from their own childhood, because I often ask about that. So, I have to take all this stuff into consideration. On here, I'm saying, here's what you do. But in coaching, I have to assess where you are. And patience is something that takes time. Fake it till you make it, though. You can't show your kids when you get angry. And if you do, you go backwards. The thing is that once I start telling you what to do, you have solutions and things to do. You tend to lose it when you don't know what to do. But once you know what to do, patience comes easier. And that's all I teach, is what to do. So it gets easier. I could tell you story after story of really, really interesting clients. I've had some really fascinating clients over the years. And I do tell a lot of client stories, but I have to keep it ambiguous so they don't, I never tell names, obviously, or anything. But sometimes clients will come to me and they won't level with me. They're too embarrassed to tell me what they're really doing. And I say, don't waste your money. Tell me. Tell me everything. I am not here to judge you. I'm here to get your results. That's all I care about. We will laugh at all the dumb things you've done in the past. Yeah, life's messy, parenting's messy. Oh, well, now let's move forward. Here's what we do. And you're going to mess up along the way, too. It's not about perfection. It's about learning from your mistakes, just like life. Life is messy. The road to success is paved with failures. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not learning. Because how can you possibly learn if you don't put yourself out there to fail, right? Like when my kids messed up, if they did something and it failed, I'd say, yeah, that was stupid. Wait to hear what I did when I was your age. Like, we just laugh it off. Big deal. I'm just proud of my kids for putting themselves out there and trying. That's what I praise. I praise trying. Give it a go. How do you stop a toddler from throwing themselves down? That's impossible. They're going to do it. Sometimes I'll suggest to clients to put a foam helmet on their kid, and it helps. Usually. Parents often don't want to do that. And I say, well, I don't know what else to do if they're going to throw themselves to the ground. If you can predict it and get in there and stop it, sure. But yeah, they're going to do stuff. Toddlers don't make any sense. Don't try and make sense out of them. They're brand new, fresh human beings. If they've only been in the world for 2 years, and the first one of those years, they were just a potato laying on a mattress, how much common sense can they have? Don't expect them to be able to have common sense. They haven't got it yet. They haven't formed it yet. They haven't got any sanity yet. They're just forming. Oh, please don't give the troll any power. Yeah, I get a lot of that. I could tell you a really funny story, but I don't want to waste your time on here. It's something that I said that people hate, and it was easy to jump on too, because it goes against the trendy stuff that's out there. And I said something really came at them. Anyway, so, but I never look at them. They come on my channel. But you know, it was funny. This was fantastic. I probably shouldn't even say this out loud. But when I first came on here, I blew up overnight, right? Because I'm different. So, and anyway, I blew up overnight. Well, my competitors were very threatened. Some of them, the idiot ones, right? But anyway, that what they did was like, there's room for all of us, right? Like, that's the way I see it. I would never go look at what they're saying. It doesn't mean anything because I'm teaching what I know. Anyway, what they were doing was they do duets with me and criticize what I was saying. That's what grew my channel. they have big followings and they go on and criticize me. Oh, Lisa at Bratbusters, don't follow her. Well, people would come over. That's what grew my channel. That they're too dumb to figure that out. I want to thank them, but I don't even know who they are. Like, I don't look at that. Other people have told me, because I'd say, why did I get an extra 50,000 followers this week? And then they said, oh, so-and-so did a duet with you. Dumb as that, eh? So I love all this stuff, but they have no idea that I'm laughing at them. They're not on here anymore. They got bored with me because they realized they couldn't bug me. So they've moved on. Isn't that great though? I'm like, I want to thank them, but then that would sound passive aggressive. So, and I'm not like that. I'm telling you though. That's great. Yeah, as soon as when I came on here, my daughter said, you got to go on TikTok, Mom. It's for you. And I said, no, I'm not a 12-year-old dancer, right? So anyways, I went on and I literally like blew up overnight. I think the first week I got 30,000 followers. Like, it just blew up fast. I did not expect that. Anyway, when that started happening, I was shocked at how people were attacking me. I didn't expect that. But what they didn't realize was how exciting that was for me. I thought, wow, I'm a threat. And that just drove me on. I loved it. If you're competitors, which I don't see it that way, they obviously were threatened by me, but I see it as we're all trying to do our best to help parents. That's the way I look at it. But if people are going to start attacking you, they have no idea what a compliment that is. So yeah, it was wonderful. They're the ones who, that's why I'm on here. It's because of them. Isn't that great? Okay. What's normal sibling fighting? My boys 5 and 6 keep fighting. What can I do to resolve it? Is it physical or just arguing? I don't know. But anyway, basically with siblings who are fighting, there's a couple different things I could comment on, but I separate them one at a time. Say, okay, I don't like this fighting. It was his fault. I don't care whose fault it was. You come with me. Separate them for 10 minutes at a time. Take one away and then go in the kitchen, wash dishes, talk to them, but you don't discuss the fighting. You've already disciplined it. It's like the pool story, right? You take them away. That's the discipline. Then once you've gotten away, start talking about anything else. 10 minutes, beep, beep. Okay, go back together. Have fun. Do not say don't fight anymore. What you focus on, they do. So you just say, have fun. So you want them to have fun. So watch them like a hawk. As soon as they start fighting, take the other one out for 10 minutes. Back and forth, back and forth. They'll eventually learn how to get along, or they'll start whisper fighting, and who cares anyway. But the other thing is it's kind of a bigger picture stuff, but family harmony does not come with spending one-on-one time with each child. It comes with spending time as a family, as a group, when it's not competitive. Do not play competitive games. Just do silly stuff with your kids. Have fun with them in their world. Play hide and seek, stuff like that. And you play with the kids, not one-on-one with each one. It builds family unity. It builds sibling relationships. To do things as a family, not competitive, and you're all having fun together. It builds family unity. So a lot of parents will say to me, oh, I've just had such a good week. I spent Saturday night with one kid, then Sunday with the other. I say, stop doing that. You're struggling to get control of the family, and yet you're pitting them against each other. That's what you're doing when you do that. You pit them against each other. You can do one-on-one time when everything's great, but when you're trying to get family unity going, do not spend one-on-one time with your kids. Not the way to do it. I'm still laughing at that. All the people attacking me. Isn't that great that they just were so helpful? It was just fantastic. My daughter and I were cracking up that they just didn't figure it out, that what they were doing for me. They had no clue. It's hilarious. Okay. How do I stop my toddler? Okay. How do I stop my toddler being jealous of her new baby sister? She's 5 weeks now and he's still happy. Yeah, that's normal. You can't It usually take once the baby starts interacting with the toddler, it usually starts to get better. Just keep the baby safe, and 5 weeks is nothing. It's usually 6 to 12 months before they start getting along with them. But yeah, and you can't. Okay, look at it this way. I see this all the time. You see videos. Oh, she's just going to be a wonderful big sister. In the hospital, they're holding their new baby. I love you. And you go, oh my God, what a beautiful big sister. A week after you got that baby home, they're throwing that baby on the floor. Like they're like, oh, I didn't know this was permanent. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're taking away from their life. They are. A baby is taking away from a toddler's life. Why on earth would they like that baby? Some of them do. Some of them are maternal and they're easier going. But generally, I can understand why they would want to throw the baby on the floor. So keep that in mind and keep the baby safe. I've got this story I tell a lot. And I had this friend who both of our little boys were very sweet, like gentle little boys. And that's why I got together with her a lot, because our little boys are very similar. They were two, and she had this gorgeous little baby girl. And her little boy was very good with the little baby girl in front of them. Behind their back, after about a week of having this baby home, he went and took it out of the bassinet and threw it on the floor. And he was like, they don't understand. A 2-year-old has no concept of brain injury, death, concussion. They have no concept of that. He's just thinking this thing stinks, taking my mommy and daddy away from me, crying. And so he just threw it on the floor. He just wanted to get rid of it. He has no concept of that. So your expectations of your toddler is the problem, not him. That makes perfect sense that they would chuck him on the floor to me. It makes perfect sense. Think about it. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They don't have any common sense yet. Okay. Yeah, it's not intentional. They're learning, and so are you. It's a big change. Yeah, it is. I had 5 years between mine. I had a miscarriage in between, and I would have had them closer. I was carrying multiples when I miscarried. And I never went through that. My son was 5 when his sister was born, so he was like a help. I mean, it was great. But yeah, so I didn't have a toddler and a baby. And that's one of the biggest challenges I deal with in coaching. And I deal with crisis work with teenagers. But a mom who has a brand new baby and a toddler is one of the most difficult things I deal with in coaching, because your energy and your time, and you only have 2 hands. There's only so much you can do. You're limited in what you can do. So I have to go at it really slowly, and it's a challenge. Okay. 8-month-old is getting into things. Should I redirect? Say no. Okay. They're getting into things. Do what I did with my kids. I completely childproof the whole house, so I never had to say no. And I just made my life easy. Whenever I hear about, oh my God, I had friends who say, oh God, they were brushing their teeth with the toilet brush again. What on earth are you allowing a baby or a toddler to get into the toilet for? It makes no sense at all to me. Like, I completely childproof my home. So I made my life easy. Then I did a toy rotation system, so they were never bored. And then whenever I played with my toddlers, I didn't just sit and clap when they were doing something. I did it with them. So I entered their world, and they're more likely to look at you and learn from you and look to you as a leader as they grow up. So by the time they're 3, you're already a leader. You're cemented as their leader. That's how you do it. You enter their world and play with them in their world. But yeah, childproof your home, do a toy rotation system, and play with them in their world. Interactive. Like when I was playing with them, I'd lay down on the floor so I was at their level. And but yeah. And then parents will argue with me, not so much anymore, but they used to. And they'd say, yeah, but I want them to learn how not to get into things. Okay, then don't listen to me. Good luck with that. I want them to learn how not to brush their teeth with the toilet brush. By the time I wasn't childproof, they already knew better. And because my kids weren't used to being precocious, when we went out, they didn't tend to get into things. They just learned that they didn't touch things that weren't for them. How do I join their world more as a single working mom? So what you're asking me is, how do you find more time? I can't help you with that. If you don't have the time for this, what you can do is you can do it in tiny snippets. They don't need giant blocks of time with you. It can be 5 minutes of hide and seek. Every single night, as soon as you get home, 5 minutes of hide and seek, or something like that, as they can understand that. Or 5 minutes of dancing, or whatever their age, I don't know. If they're 15, they probably don't want to do that with you. But you know what I'm saying? Just it's consistent, though. It's habits. At what age do they stop messing? My 5-year-old still sneaks and gets into everything. I could be wrong, but to me that sounds like a tell. They don't respect you, so they wouldn't be doing that if they respected you. generally don't. So work on your leadership skills. I could be wrong. Could be something else going on, but I'm assuming they could be bored. Have you got a toy rotation system going, or have you got an exciting house where there's stuff going on? Plus, they got to learn how to be bored too. I am not. My job is not to entertain my kids 24/7. And I was a stay-at-home mom. If they both said they were bored once. My son, they were 5. My son was 5 years old, and he'd been at a friend's house, and my son came home and said to me, "I'm bored," in that snotty tone. He'd never spoken like that before. And as soon as I looked at him, he looked scared, like he thought, "Uh-oh, she's going to do something," because he knows I use humor with stuff like that. So he's like, "Uh-oh." So he said, "I'm bored." And I just went, "Oh, my poor angel, are you bored?" And he went, "Oh, no, no, I'm not." And I said, "Come with mommy, my sweet little precious bored angel." Took him in the laundry room, filled up a bucket, and gave him a mop. He was never bored again. 5 years later, my daughter had been at a friend's house, would have heard her kids talk like this to her parent, and she said, "I'm bored," in that same snotty tone that I'd never heard her say before. And my son just started laughing, and she got the mop and bucket treatment too. Was never bored again. But yeah, I was shocked. Like, I'm bored. They'd never spoken to me like that, but it's so snotty. It's funny. I love how much that makes sense. They're really more simple than we think. It depends on what you're talking about. They're actually very complex little beings. And that's why I always say you enter their world. You will learn about them in their world. And plus, they're actually more clever than us in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you why. The number one reason little children are more clever than us, especially at 3 and 3 3/4, 3 and 3/4, this really kicks in. They only do what works. We don't. We're stupid. We keep doing the same thing repeatedly, expecting different results. They don't. They're very smart that way. They only lean into what's working, and they lean away from what isn't. That's why I always make sure the bad stuff isn't working and the good stuff is. You see? My son's almost 4. I've missed the toddler stage. How to fix it now. My son is almost 12. I actually have a whole course on that if you're interested. It's up there in the link, and it's 5 weeks, how to get respect in 5 weeks. It's all paced out. And that will teach you how to do it step by step. Do not rush through that course. You can read it all ahead of time, but do not rush through it because it is paced out according to there's lessons, and then there's all these extra additional tips in it. You can read all the tips, but don't even read the lessons. Just read all the additional tips for those 5 weeks. But then do not rush through it, but you can elongate it by about 2 weeks. If you want. Some people go through week by week. Anyway, I got to get going. It's been an hour and 2 minutes now, so I have to go. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Go in the link above. You can hire me for coaching, buy one of my courses, or download my free behavior board. It's all intended to help you to get respect and have more fun with your kids. Okay, so we'll talk again tomorrow, and thanks very much for joining me. Bye now.